I recently flew from Oregon to Salt Lake City, Utah to pick up a 1999 Ford Chinook RV. Before hitting the road, I got her some new snow tires, filled up the tank, and then we were off. It was a long journey back from Salt Lake City to about Eugene, Oregon, and I hit some crazy weather along the way. That's why I wanted to make sure I had proper snow tires. After sleeping in her night one, which I'll link here, I wound up getting a hotel before hitting the road again the next day and driving nearly 800 miles in just one day. It was a long trek, but I was ready to get home so I could start renovations on the RV. I did wind up hitting some snow and some crazy weather, so I was really grateful that I did have those snow tires. And now that I'm home, I am ready to give you guys a full pre-renovation tour, and I hope that you guys enjoy. So stick around, subscribe, and let's hop into it. Hi, I'm Jaylena, and last week I flew from Oregon to Salt Lake City, Utah to pick up my soon-to-be tiny home on wheels. And I am going to be renovating it, but I wanted to give you guys a look at what it is so you guys can hopefully see the potential of what it could be. So this is a 1999 Chinook RV, and this is the premier model. It's a E350 V10, and it's 21 feet long, gas engine. So this is going to be the official pre-renovation tour, and like I said, she has a lot of potential, but she also came with lots of work, so she's going to need a lot of love. We're going to start on the exterior, so let's get to it. So since I bought her, I've pretty much done next to nothing to it, but there are a few things I did. For example, these all-terrain snow-graded tires. Like I said, I drove her back from Salt Lake City, and we are going into wintertime, and I did hit a little bit of snow, and I just wanted to be sure that I was as safe as I could be, so I wanted to make sure I had really good tires to get over the mountains in Oregon. So this is a E350 Econoline chassis, and it is a dually. So over here we have the vent for the fridge. Obviously this needs some love, paint's peeling. And then underneath that we have the generator. The generator also needs to be repaired, so we'll find out how much that's going to cost together. So up top we do have a pretty big Horizon awning. I haven't opened it yet. I was told that it works, but like I said, we'll find out all of that together. And this is a fiberglass unibody body. So the cool thing about that is, and all the Chinooks were made that way, is that there's no seams, so you're a lot less likely to have leaking points. And another thing about the Chinook Premier that's different from the regular is the style of windows. This just has normal RV windows, but they do have gigantic windows on both sides, which I loved. And that's probably going to be the only point, if you have leaks, is going to be the windows. So I am going to be resealing all the windows and checking for that. Right here we have the heater exhaust. This does have like a dual Dometic AC and heater system in it, and underneath down here, and then down here is the undermount propane tank. Cool about this too is this does have exterior outlets, so if you're camping you can just plug your 110 into these and you could have power outside. So moving around to the back, what I did like about this is that it is a rear access into the vehicle versus like a side door. They do make some rare ones with the side door access, but I personally liked the rear door access. It does have a ladder with bike racks, which I'll be removing. These get in the way when you're trying to get on the roof. As you can see, it's got your steps up here, and the bottom step folds up and out of the way when you're driving. It's got a 2-inch hitch receiver, your spare tire, and there is quite a bit of storage behind the spare tire that you can move this out of the way and access. So we are gonna start in the back here with the sewer hose here that opens and closes, and at the bottom you have your black tank, and then here is where you fuel up. And I did go ahead and open all these little doors because you have to have a key to open them, and then they also lock back so you don't have to worry about anyone stealing your stuff. This one is for your shore power extension cord. and this is for your water, and it does have a drain as well. So right here we have a TV antenna port. There is an antenna up on the roof that's for the TV, and there's also a TV inside, which I'll show you. This is the hot water heater. It looks like it's in rough shape. The door is missing, so I'm probably just gonna wind up replacing that. And then underneath that is where the house batteries sit, and there's extra storage, which I will show you guys. Okay. So this is where they kept the plumbing and sewage system stuff over there. And then here, this tray pulls out for the house batteries. Right now, I have a temporary Renogy battery that I just had lying around. The batteries that it came with, one was like literally melted, and so I didn't try and do anything with those. I just got rid of them, and I will be replacing the house batteries with some lithium batteries. So we do have a step, an aluminum step that goes into the van. I have some extended mirrors here that fold in if you ever need them to. And some of the lining on a lot of this stuff is a little warped and coming off. This was actually, while I was driving, came off and was flapping and hitting the window down the highway. So I stopped at a Walmart, got some white duct tape, taped it down, but I'm gonna probably be replacing most of all of that seam, all of the seams that are old and need some love. So last but not least, we're gonna talk about what's on the roof. So in the front, there is a fan, completely broken and no good. Behind that is the AC, which the cover of the AC, the guy said blew off. I don't know what really happened to it, but he put a trash bag on it, and it did rain when I got back, and the rain was, because when I was driving, the trash bag flipped and rain got inside and was coming in through the AC, but that's gonna be replaced this week. And then on the back of the roof, we have a fan that is inside of the shower on the inside. So I will show you guys all of that from the inside, and that's it for the exterior. So let's head inside. So right as you walk in, you have your RV door here. This has a screen door on it too, so you can have the screen door closed and the door open, and you don't have to worry about critters getting in. So as soon as you walk in, you have this super retro original blue carpet that is honestly in really good shape, but I will be replacing that. And then over to your left, we have some 110 outlets. We have a switch here that I don't know what that's for. We'll figure it out. But then we also have a fire extinguisher and a flashlight. And then over to our right, we have some a magazine storage shelf here, and a pretty decent sized closet. Above that, we have our carbon monoxide detector, and above that we have our start stop for our generator. So moving on over here, this is the bathroom. This does have an actual door that locks, and it's got our shower head here, and then it also has a little sink over here on the side. So it has a wraparound curtain rod, so your curtain can wrap all the way around to keep everything from getting wet. Although it can get wet, it's real shower material. Got a paper towel rack here, toilet rack here. This mirror, I'm assuming, opens, and there's nothing in there. It's like an old school mirror. You also have another mirror here. Your toilet, obviously. My goal is to take that toilet out, not have a black tank, only have a gray tank, and do a composting toilet. And then above, we have this old fan that I'm also going to be replacing. It works, but it's got some quirkiness to it. Moving on, this is the kitchen area. Right here, we have this Norcold dual fridge freezer that runs on electric or gas. This is the little freezer area. I was told that it works. Hopefully it does, because I would like to not have to replace any of the appliances besides the stove. And then underneath, we have some more storage. And up on top, we have a lot more storage. Next to that, we have a Dometic RV microwave. And then down here, we have a 2-burner stove with the cover on it. And above that, we have our monitor that tells us how much we have in the black tank, the gray tank, the fresh water, our gas, and our battery. This also controls the water pump, the hood light, and the hood fan. And on the opposite side here, we have our sink area. This has a deep double sink, some shelving here, and obviously a window. These windows open and they do have screens on them, which I love. Underneath we have our electrical panel, and then there's a ton of storage underneath the sink. Down on the floor we have our propane detector and these 2 drawers. This is to turn the water heater on and off and to reset it. And up top we have a lot more storage. This all came with it, and so it needs to be cleaned, it needs to be gone through, so much needs to be done. And this also does have a smoke detector on the ceiling in the kitchen area. Moving on into the living room, bedroom, we have a full-size RV dinette system, and this does fold down and this turns into a bed. On the opposite side, we have our couch, and this also folds down into a bed. And if you have both of them down, they meet together and you have a king-size bed. And so right here is the RV AC. Like I said, this will be replaced. We have all of these really old school RV lights that are going to be replaced with LEDs. And this monstrosity here is the ceiling fan. I'm going to be replacing this with a max air fan. This too was also, I didn't know it was broken. And as I was driving down the highway, it started flapping all crazy. I tried to tape it down, it didn't work. So then I had to really tape it down really good to keep the cold air out, to keep it from flapping. And it just is what it is. Over here we have the control panel for the AC and the propane heater. This is the TV that came with it. You can connect this to an antenna, I guess, and watch TV. And then on the opposite side, you have a VHS player, a DVD player, and an old school stereo. And then there's this huge amount of storage back here that's just full of all kinds of electronic junk. But there's a ton of space inside of that, which I really love. These ceilings have carpet material on the ceiling, but they're in really good shape. And like I said, this has gigantic windows in here. This window goes from the back of the driver's seat all the way to the kitchen. And there's another window in the kitchen as well. And above each of the lounge areas, seats, we have even more storage. So this has 2 doors that have tons of storage space in them. This one also has tons of storage space. Moving on into the cab area, it's pretty basic. There's an old stereo. I haven't used it. It does turn on. We have our backup camera here that you can turn on and off. And I usually leave this on when I'm driving so that I can see behind me. And it's 2 seats. I wanted to have something that I could, in any case, just get up and drive away, and I didn't have to get out of my vehicle to do that. And that's why I wanted this type of setup here. Up here we have a couple of switches. This is to start and stop the generator, driving lights, vehicle boost start, and then this is to turn your house batteries on and off. One thing I really liked about this particular model is that it has this wood grain finishing on the dash, and it also has a little bit on the doors. And then they put this cute little super retro compass in it, and I like having that. I think I'm going to leave that in there. So these Chinooks were super, super, super popular in their prime, but they eventually wound up going out of business because they were built so well. They used the best materials, had the best brands for appliances, that eventually they couldn't afford to sell them for what they were worth, and eventually had to just go out of business. They were bought out and they do make new ones now, but I don't think that you can compare the new ones to these old school ones. In my opinion, I like these a lot more. For example, these cabinets are made out of actual solid wood, and a lot of what you see today is made out of plywood. I've been watching so many RV renovation videos, and a lot of RVs that are just traditional trailers and stuff typically have a lot of water damage. One thing I love about the Chinook is the fiberglass body, because there are no leaks. I'd be really, really surprised if anyone could show me an RV from 1999 that didn't have water damage, that wasn't a fiberglass body. So you might be wondering why I chose to buy this particular RV as opposed to a van or a bus. As much as I love vans and buses, I did not want to do another build. So I have built a couple of vans, quite a few buses, and I needed to upgrade from my last van because I'm moving into this full time. So I needed something big enough for me and my daughter when I have her, and I have 2 cats. And I would have loved to build a bus, but they are a million times more work. I wanted an RV because I could renovate it a little bit to my liking, and then you could literally do nothing really to it now and it's fine aside from a few cosmetic things. But I wanted more of a closer to turnkey situation. When I first came across the Chinooks, I fell in love, and I honestly probably would not have done an RV if I couldn't do a Chinook. The Chinooks are quite small compared to traditional RVs. They're more like a bus feel. It drives like a van, but you still get like the space of a bus. So for me, it was the perfect in between. A major must have for me that I didn't have in my last vehicle, which was a T1N Sprinter van 140, was a bathroom and a shower. Since I do have a toddler, I wanted to make sure that I didn't have to take her into any gas stations or anything like that if we wanted to take a shower on the road. So with this, I have the bathroom, I have the shower, I'm going to have a stove, a full kitchen, like plenty of room, a huge bed if we need it. And there's just so much more space, and it'll be fun to redecorate it and renovate it without having to go in and do a ton of body work and patching and fixing leak points and doing paint. With a bus, if I had chose that route, I would have done all of that and then had to build everything from the ground up on the inside, which is nice because you can build it however you like, but I didn't want to do another build. It is a ton of work, and I don't think people realize how much work it is until you really get into it. So for me, this just made more sense. And like I said, I fell in love with the Chinooks, and I couldn't be more happier with this choice. And I'm really excited to dress her up and renovate her and get her on the road and finally get out there and make some memories, because I feel like I've been really building for longer than I've been actually able to go out and enjoy traveling and camping and stuff. So my ultimate goal here is to get this completely renovated and done within 1 to 2 months, and then we get to start making some memories in it. So if you want to follow along on the renovation process and see all of the upgrades, see the potential that I see when I look at this thing, because I'm sure some people don't see it. Make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss anything. And as always, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys stick around. I appreciate you so much for hanging out, and I will see you guys on the next video.